Friends, this sermon is, most of my sermons take unique forms. They all end up on a half-sheet note card that I carry around with me. This one I literally carried as I marched on the Pride March, so it went the entire way with me. I even took a selfie of it on the Pride March. This sermon, it will literally begin and end with love. And then there's three things in between, and I turn it into a sentence. Love donuts, cross your legs, love. Let's say that together. Love donuts, cross your legs, love. That's the sermon right there. You just mapped it out. Perfect. That helps me remember what I'm supposed to say. And it intentionally begins and ends with love. Love. Well, first, how often do you hear tweets quoted in sermons? Anyone ever had that happen? If you've heard one of my sermons, maybe the answer is yes, but my friend Bradley Redeker tweeted a couple weeks ago. He tweeted during the Presbyterians' General Assembly. They were having a whole conversation where they ended up moving to vote towards marriage equality, which was wonderful. And during the midst of it, my friend Bradley tweeted this. He said, sometimes it seems that lesbians, gay people, he said LGBTQ. I always stutter when I try to say all the words out loud. Sometimes it seems that lesbians, gays, transgender, bisexual, and queer people are more united under the rainbow than they are under the cross. Sometimes LGBTQ people are more united under the rainbow than they are under the cross. Keep that in your minds. We're going to come back to that, and it's going to kind of be a little punch in the middle. But back to the beginning and ending with love. Love. This text from 1 John says it so eloquently, one that you are likely familiar with. You may have heard it, whether it's at weddings or random sermons that a pastor like me picks a text on, and he just gives himself the softball of God is love. That's a great sermon. So we know and believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. While I was marching at Pride, I kept thinking to myself, I wish I had organized a sign-making party last week so I could have it with me. There were people that had signs that said, queer for Christ and queerly beloved and God is not gender conforming. There was wonderful signs. And I thought if I could put one out there, what would I hold? And I was like, I think I'd want to write, God is love, the rest is commentary. God is love, the rest is commentary. Which really means that when I read the text, that was it, and now the sermon is just commentary, so bear with me. Because in so many things in our life and our world around us, we can see this to be true. God is love, and the rest, sometimes we bring those extra things to the center, but no, that's all just commentary, because love is the first and the last word. Perhaps love ought to be the only word. Love, period. When I was in college, I went to a conservative Christian undergrad college. Anyone else a survivor of that environment? Nope, just me. All right. Okay, thank you. When I graduated, and then I moved back. My partner was a resident director, so we lived back on campus. It's a great way to start your marriage, living on a college campus with a bunch of college freshmen. Interesting, especially at a conservative Christian college like the one we went to, which shall remain nameless in case, someone finds this. I went to the school, and the year I came back, there was a group coming around. This was the spring of 2007, and it was a group called Soul Force. And they were a group of young people, young LGBTQ people and allies who were touring the country in a bus, and they were going specifically to Christian colleges that had policies written against LGBTQ people, saying, you can't come to school here if you're gay, basically. And my alma mater was one of them. So Soul Force was going to come to our school. We knew they were coming. What do we do? All the students were in a fury. The gay Christians are coming. Well, first thing I thought was, let's just maybe get some WWJD bracelets and go totally old school, because what would Jesus do? I'm pretty sure he would just say, hey, you want to have a meal together? Because that seems to be what he did quite often. But most uniquely, some schools said, come on in. Some did that, what would Jesus do method. But my alma mater said, nope, you can't come on our property. You can stand on this little strip of grass on the other side of the sidewalk between our school and the busy highway. Good luck with that. And if you do set foot on our campus, you will be arrested. God is love, the rest is commentary. That's some commentary I don't want to get involved in. Well, I was working at a church at the time. I took the day off. And ultimately, this story is not my 5 minutes of fame, but my 5 words of fame. It ended up with me in the local newspaper. So I'm getting to that. So I took the day off work. Jess, my partner, and I, we get there early. We bring some coffee and some refreshments and some donuts. And the news was there. They were seeing what was going to happen. So we got interviewed. It was kind of exciting. Not as exciting as I thought it would have been. Then the whole group stood on that tiny little strip of grass they were allowed to stand on, and I stood there with them. And I looked across the sidewalk and saw a parking lot at the school campus filled with my classmates from the year before, watching this event happen as if it were a sporting event, or even worse, like some sort of spectacle in a zoo. What are the gay Christians gonna do? Well, they stepped foot on the campus, 2 of them, with a letter to the administration. And they walked across to present the letter to the president of the school, who was standing next to a police officer, and the police officer immediately arrested these 2 young people and took them to jail. Well, I had the day off, and I wasn't a college student anymore, and I'd gotten to know the group pretty well by this point, so I went with the group leaders to the jail to get these 2 people out of jail. What a wonderful way to spend your day off. But God is love, and the rest is commentary, so that's the kind of thing I should be doing, right? And then I went back and spent the rest of the afternoon there with them. The next day, I go to work, and my coworkers show me the paper, and the last 5 words in the article were, "Jim and Jess brought donuts." When the gay Christians show up, so do the donuts with me. God is love, and the rest is commentary. So of course I'm going to bring donuts to welcome you. Whatever I can do to welcome you, whoever you are, wherever you come from, even if the ground you're about to set on is going to end up putting you in jail, I will still welcome you, and then I'll even do whatever I can to go to jail with you just to see your release. Because God is love, and the rest is commentary. There's this object in the Christian faith that sometimes gets distorted or twisted, or I would want to just say misused. And that object is the cross. The cross too often gets turned upside down to become some sort of wielded like a sword. The cross too often becomes a line in the sand saying, I dare you to cross it, and if you do, you're going to go to jail. The cross too often becomes this thing of division. But I think the cross should be a thing that unites us. The cross just might be the way that God says, your life is hard. Well, I'm going to come down there so I can say a divine me too. The cross doesn't have to be God's wrath and judgment. The cross can be God's love, saying, I'm with you no matter how hard. Walking down Fifth Avenue, seeing so many faces and hearing so many voices, knowing each one is connected to a story. Looking here in this space into the internet, online people watching, knowing we are all carrying stories with us. The cross is God's way of coming into those stories and saying, I'm right here no matter what it takes, because love will go that far and maybe even a little farther. And that's why God is love, and the rest is commentary. The cross is God's way of saying, anyone who's ever been pushed to the margins, well, I will go to the margins to be there with you. The cross is not for the powerful and the privileged. The cross is not for the white, straight men of the world. The cross should be marching down Fifth Avenue, telling all the LGBTQ people, yes, you are united under the rainbow, but maybe we need to put some rainbow paint on this cross so we can unite ourselves under this as well. Let's talk about your legs. There was a Jewish rabbi named Abraham Heschel who marched in many of the civil rights activist movements throughout this past century. One thing he said that I will never forget, and I carry it with me everywhere I go, especially in a city where you walk so much, is he would say, I pray with my legs. He would go to these civil rights activists and he would show up and he would march and he would walk because every step was an act of prayer. Sometimes prayer doesn't always need to be the words you say, because sometimes you don't know the words to say, but your legs can still keep walking. Guide my feet while I walk this race. When I joined our middle community and thousands of others walking down Fifth Avenue and through the village, each step is a prayer. Every step we take is a prayer, reminding ourselves that God is the ground beneath our feet. This God who loves us inspires our legs to do something, to get some energy behind them and to go somewhere. Because God is love and the rest is commentary. And when God's love inspires our legs, then maybe, just maybe, love can change the world. That's why I brought donuts. Well, and because I like donuts. But because it's a symbol of love, and love can change the world. That's what this image of the cross could be. Love. Love that can change the world. Love that can unite all people. No matter who they are, who they love, who they identify themselves as, God is love, and this love can change the world. Now, this evening, Dion said, is one where we're going to hear all of our voices. So this sermon is going to end with all of us, and we're going to sing a song. So let's open up your bulletins, and I'm going to mosey over to the piano, pretend that I know what I'm doing. I want to teach you a song that my friend Aaron wrote. My friend Aaron Nyquist, he's a pastor in the Midwest, and this is a song he wrote. And it goes something like this. The words are right in the center there. And love can change the world. Oh, do we still believe that love can change the world? Oh, do we still believe that love, God is love, our God is love, and love can change the world. Let's sing that together. Dreaming of a better world. And may we never stop believing in the impossible. Let's sing that again. And may we never stop this dreaming of a better world. And may we never stop believing in the impossible again. May we never stop this dreaming of a better world. May we never stop believing in the impossible. One more time. May we never stop this dreaming
Friends, this day and every day, may it be so. Amen.